Hi there. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last time we left off, there was, well, wasn't looking too good for us, but, you know, what's new there? We came up with a pretty reasonable sounding theory, but like I predicted, or like I had mentioned earlier, the number of bullets came back to bite us. So now it's time for another summation examination, and I've only got 2 mistakes left, so I can't afford to be lax or sloppy here. Just because Miss Lestrade has a history of pickpocketing, she must be guilty of murder. Is that what you're saying? Well... Dang, I don't know why the headset does that sometimes. It's like it's perfectly good. Nothing even... I didn't even move anything. Anyway. Are all members of the British Army so quick to judge? I beg your pardon. Are you mocking Her Majesty's Armed Forces, the greatest military organization in the world? No. I'm simply illustrating my point. Making assumptions about people because they're a soldier or a pickpocket is wrong and dangerous. I mean, that's actually a good life lesson, you know? It's not good to make assumptions about people just because of their class or occupation or what have you. Huh. Oh, well, yes, might have a point there, I suppose. Yeah, but let's not forget the girl had already shown she had it in her from before. She's clearly a criminal sort through and through. Can't deny it. When you say that she'd shown she had it in her, are you referring to this? Exactly. Tried to swipe that only a day earlier, Or am I mistaken? Not exactly. I mean, it's true, we were there. She did have a vested interest in that disc. Given that I was actually there at the time, it's hard to refute that. Oh, I've never actually seen the real thing. I can't wait to have a closer look at it. Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, we've only seen the chocolate imprint on it. Mr. Sholmes did use his caramel bars to make a copy of the disc, didn't he? And then ordered every type of music box he could find from across Europe. And, you know, they didn't even have Amazon Prime back then, so it's gonna take a while for all those music boxes to ship. We still don't know what tune it plays, though, do we? Oh, but I'd love to see how the original compares to Hurley's copy. McGilded's McDisc. Could it be a clue somehow? Perhaps we should examine it in more detail. Indeed. Let's do that real quick. Metal box. Says for McGilded. Oh! Bruno, look! This is blood! Yes, you're right. Just a small smear, but definitely blood. Actually, I feel as though I might have noticed that before. Haha! Then it's my time to shine again. I thought I'd be waiting forever. Yeah, didn't we determine it was, Eggert's blood? Because, you know, he scraped it when Gina tried to rip it from his hands. Alright, hold still with that disc, Bruno. Can we get this done quickly, Iris? I got places to be, people to defend. In a flash! Oh, it's green. Oh, a lovely bright shade again. Wait, that color. What is it? It's just that green. It reminds me of Ecto-Cooler. It reminds me that I'm really thirsty. It's not the first time we've seen that color, is it? No, in fact, it's not. That's weird. Yeah, what about that note? For McGilded. For McGilded. That's the man you defended in court a couple of months ago, isn't it, Runo? Yes. Or rather, mistakenly defended. I wonder what his name is doing on the back of this disc. That's a question I'd love to know the answer to myself. Now let me just look at the blood sample portfolio that we collected. Unknown. That was Thrice-Fired Mason. Windimake's blood was blue. And the music box disc, also green. That's strange. I kind of assumed that since that was where Herlock's... I kind of assumed it was Herlock's blood? You know, because he got shot and stuff, and that's where the bullet landed? I assumed it was blood splatter from there. But why would that blood be the same as this blood? When again, I thought it was Eggert. Because, like, I thought, yeah, didn't she try to grab the disc from him? And, like, that's how the bloodstain got on there? Because it wasn't there originally, so... Okay, well, I assume we'll be coming back to that at some point. Let's continue with our summation examination. It's a number of bullets that have you convinced. I mean, yeah, that is kind of a pressing, kind of an important detail. Only 2 bullets were fired, and the 2 guns that fired them have been examined by the police. When the parlourmaid asks me how many are invited for dinner, I always tell her to count the table settings. Well, that's logical, I suppose. Although... Yes? Sometimes after dining, crockery does go missing. 1 or 2 guests rather like the fine china. Does your employer dine with thieves? So I suppose... if there was another bullet somewhere of which we are unaware... I'd have to reconsider my position. A 3rd bullet somewhere on the scene. Could that be possible? Could it be? I mean, again, we've seen this gun, there are 2 guns, and they each fired a gun, a bullet, so... Not sure about that one, sis. But, we'll come back to it, I think. Unfortunately, only 2 bullets were discovered by the police during their investigation. Yes, I know! Right. And I don't imagine the good men of Scotland Yard would have overlooked anything. If I missed a bullet while I was cleaning his lordship's office, well... I should receive a sound scolding, a sound scolding, I don't doubt. And he should receive a visit from the police, perhaps. It sounds like a crime scene to me. A 3rd bullet. It would completely turn things around if there was one, wouldn't it? Do you think we might find one lying around somewhere? I mean, I don't know, man.
Hold it!
It's possible, but I'm not sure exactly how. So if I've understood correctly, you need 2 pictures. A left eye one, and a slightly different right eye one. Exactly! Then you can see the scene in 3 dimensions. Like this. So, if we have 2 bullets, I don't suppose you can see anything useful with them. I think you'll find that no matter how much you squint, the truth of the situation always looks the same here. The only person who could have shot the victim is that girl in the dock. How could you be so sure of that? Well, think about it. The Skulkin brothers shot the Green Detective, didn't they? Yes. That's been mentioned once or twice. Well then, surely it's coming into focus now, isn't it? This is a waste of time. I'm not going to change this man's mind anytime soon. I never imagined a simple operation would cause me such grief. Would you please stop muttering about things that have nothing to do with this trial, sir? The defendant's life is on the line here. Well, the thing is, I couldn't really say that it is nothing to do with this trial, to be honest. Huh? I mean, there's no question that the man was shot, but the bullet had simply vanished from his stomach. It's quite inexplicable, don't you think? Wait, what? I almost don't want to ask, but this surgery you've been muttering about all this time, you were operating on... Oh, what was the fellow's name now? Hairlick? No, Hairlock? No, Hairlock? Herlock Sholmes, by any chance? Yes! Good lord! It was that Hairlock fellow! What? You're the surgeon that operated on Mr. Sholmes? That's right. Using the very latest anesthesia techniques, I might add. It was a fairly major op, I can tell you. This is crazy. Let me see. The fellow was brought in not long after midnight, if I remember correctly. They said he'd been shot by some criminal or other, so I opened him up like a shot. The funny thing is, I went over his insides with a fine-tooth comb, and I couldn't find the bullet anywhere. So I'm afraid I had to throw my hands up and just stitch the fellow back up. Huh. I hate to say the obvious, but... Yes? Surely that's because the bullet is still at the scene of the shooting. Ground before the event is correct, as is clearly shown in this photograph print. The bullet that the Skulkin brothers fired at Mr. Sholmes hit him in the stomach region, then exited his body and lodged into the shop wall where the calendar was hanging by the door. I think you'll find it's really quite simple if you just consider the problem three-dimensionally. Ha! Who do you think I am, son? Drawer number 4 is about the best I can do. As soon as I saw the wound to the man's stomach, I flipped him over. Like a pancake. Are you saying that you checked his back? Of course I did. And there wasn't a trace of injury. No sign that the bullet had left the body at all. Oh. What? That's the point. The only logical conclusion was that the bullet was still somewhere in the man's innards. Which is exactly why I said about slicing him up. And I'm still none the wiser, even now. How many times do I have to say it? Can somebody please explain how it happened? Can somebody please solve the mystery? It's almost as much of a mystery as how this jury was put together.
Hold it!
Well, this is all very fucking weird and curious. But I'm not really sure what to make of it, to be honest. Mr. Sholmes' surgeon is on the jury? I've experienced some coincidences recently, but this is ridiculous. I'm as surprised as anyone. But there's no question that Mr. Sholmes was shot. Well, that's what the police told me when they brought him in. How bad were his injuries, Doctor? He was in a bad way. He'd lost a huge amount of blood, you know. And I suspect he was shot at quite close range, too. Oh, because his skin was badly burnt around the point of entry. Burnt? As I said, I flipped the fellow over and examined his back, but there was no sign of an exit wound. Which is why I thought I'd better locate the lug and pop it out. And yet you say you found no bullet inside the patient. Well, I wouldn't have done, would I? Because it's in the wall of the pawnbrokers. Oh, but how did it get there? I need someone to solve this mystery before it drives me to insanity. If only there was some expert in ballistics who'd help, even if he looked extremely untrustworthy. So we have a disappearing bullet on our hands. Bro, it's like the JFK assassination. The accused attempted a theft on the previous occasion.
Hold it!
What do you mean you're in for a busy day? Forgot to say, stop! Do excuse me, stop! I am a communications officer, stop! A communications officer? Does that have something to do with sending telegrams? Everything from personnel messages written by members of the public to the latest news in the capital. I convert all the messages into Morse code and tap it out to the entire world electronically. To the entire world? Thousands of miles of cable under the sea. Stop! Worldwide communication network. Stop! Information transmitted to and from all corners of globe. Stop! Ah, yes. She was getting equally worked up about radio waves and the like before, wasn't she? I specialize in communicating information from government departments and newspaper offices. I see. I'm sure I'll try to wire the newspaper reports of today's guilty verdict later. So no sleep for me tonight, I imagine. Let's just finish the trial first, shall we? I am ballistics expert. I have seen many shootings. There's nothing I do not know about guns. I thought you were just a tourist. Oh, good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take a bus to Crystal Tower, please. There's no way he's just a visiting tourist. So, you're a ballistics expert? Who knew? I have much experience with guns. Ah. I have lived through many, how do you say, violent bath of, no, blood of, Ah, extreme violent bloodbaths, perhaps. Those, extreme violent bloodbaths. And look at the little mouse. He keeps squeezing his little mouse friend, and he looks kind of stressed. English is a very difficult tongue. Considering the sort of people you associate with, I'm surprised you still have a tongue. Anyway, if you have questions about bullets and guns, you ask me. There is nothing I do not know. No mystery I cannot solve. He's very confident in his knowledge of guns, that's for sure. But, if possible, please, only in the Russian language. He's not very confident in his knowledge of English, though, is he? No. Still, we should bear it in mind. He's all mad if there's a mystery about guns and bullets. And thankfully, there does seem to be a mystery about guns and bullets. So I think that'll be the next line of inquiry for us. Van Zykes has managed to convince everyone. When you have eliminated the impossible, he said. But he hasn't! If we're going to fight back, we need more material. And we have to fight back. We have to turn this trial around again. Okay, so let's pick this guy with this guy, because I think we will get more information. These two statements clearly contradict the idea that... Wait, sorry. Let's see if we can paste that better. These two statements clearly contradict the idea that all I do is pit jurors against each other. Oh, yeah. See, I was wondering how he was going to word that, because, I mean, we weren't really... There wasn't really a contradiction, you know? Oh, a ballistics expert. Pitting. P-I-T-T. On the night in question, Mr. Sholmes was shot by one of the Skulkin brothers. But since there was no sign of an exit wound on his back, we must assume the bullet didn't pass through him. However, no bullet was found lodged in Mr. Sholmes' body either. Furthermore, a bullet was found lodged in the wall of the shop where Mr. Sholmes was shot. That's fucking weird, bro. Juror number 6. Hello, my name is Villain. Pleased to meet you. There's apparent contradiction in the facts that is so clearly troubling juror number 4. Are you able to explain the mystery? I have seen a very similar situation in Motherland. It was night. There was blizzard. I was running away along Mountain Road in freezing cold. Golly. The snow was piling high on both sides of the road. It was very narrow and dangerous. My pursuers had hunting rifles, and they were on dog sleds. Mental note, don't ask too many questions. I was shot from behind, and I fell down in snow. And this situation was very similar to what I hear today from Doctor. They could not find bullet in my body. And no sign of, how do you say, exit wound? Then, where did the bullet go? Hey, bullet never hit me. What? Well, if it never hit you, why did you fall down? Hey, bullet hit frozen wall of ice very close to my side. What? Hey, one small piece. Very sharp. Broke away from lump of ice and pierced my body. It made deep wound that looks just like bullet wound. Ah, good gracious. Of course, a piece of ice quickly melted inside me. And that is solution to mystery of disappearing bullet. What? The frozen wall of ice. Okay, well that's cool, but I don't see that really approaches us. What that has to do with our situation? There wasn't any wall of ice, I tell you. But that doesn't answer the question at all. The shooting happened in a pawnbroker shop. Not some Stony Mountain Road in another country. I mean, he's got a point. Just an idea, but we might not be looking at exactly the same scenario here. Reno! Where exactly was Hurley shot again? Well, according to the report, in his stomach. Sort of around this area, I think. Well, that's precisely where he always wears a little pouch on his belt. A pouch? Actually, I might have noticed something like that. Yes, a pouch. It's where he keeps 3 glass vials of very dangerous chemicals that he uses in his investigations. Bro, what's he doing with fucking very dangerous chemicals? What? Really? Doctor, where is the pouch Mr. Sholmes is wearing? Well, the fellow had nothing like that on his person when he arrived at the hospital, as far as I remember. If I may. Lord Van Sykes, you're still here. While I realize it is forbidden for the prosecution to interject during a summation examination, I should inform the defense that I had the pouch in question in the antechamber outside the courtroom. Sorry. As I understand it, when the police arrived on the scene and found Mr. Sholmes injured, they removed the pouch in order to assess the wound. Ah, thank goodness! I thought I was getting forgetful for a moment. Since then, it has been in my safekeeping along with all other evidence relating to the case. I can personally vouch for the fact that it has not been touched since the incident occurred. Very well. We're extremely unconventional during summation examination. I must demand the prosecution present the items in question with all speed. Bring forth Mr. Herlock from the pouch. I see. So this is a pouch worn by Mr. Sholmes the night in question, is it? Look at that! One of the files is broken, and the leather around it is scorched black. It's almost as if the file exploded. Exploded? So, that night, the bullet from the Skull Brothers' gun struck Mr. Sholmes' pouch. And it was a glass vial exploding that caused the fellow's injury. Oh. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, this bullet did not penetrate the victim, but was deflected into a wall of shop. I see. So it hit his pouch, the glass broke off, and that's what actually wounded our boy Herlock. and it deflected into the wall when we saw it. A delightfully complex aroma. Well, it would appear one mystery has been solved at least. Yeah, but that doesn't really change, yeah, that doesn't really change the facts. I mean, if it's still, there were still only 2 bullets, then, yeah, that doesn't exactly change our situation now, does it? Though it has no bearing on the truth of this case. The bungling and burgling brothers shot the detective, and the accused shot the pawnbroker. The pertinent facts of the case remain unaltered. Ugh. Yeah, he's got us there. But at least the mystery is solved. I can sleep easy tonight. Thank you, young man. Thank you very much. Glad I could help. Well, due to its bearing on the crime just solved, the court will sequester this scruffy pouch with evidence. Hurley's pouch isn't scruffy! His pouch has been entered in the court record. Now, let's make an examination. It would appear the defense is somewhat struggling to alter opinion, Please, my lord, a little more time. After all, that's a new piece of evidence. It could be a valuable clue. And you can't afford to overlook anything here, Ryunosuke. There's still a way to turn this around, somehow. I'm sure of it. Well, at least you feel better, dude. At least you feel better. Let's actually examine this, though, just to be on the safe side. Huh, it's really scorched badly just here. Oh! The strap is broken, look! This must be where the bullet hit, then. Let me see... Oh, hey. Oh, would you look at that? Would you look at that shit right there, fella? Would you look at that shit, the bullet? The bullet. What the? Iris, look! Behind where the broken file was. Do you see it? Ah! That's the Skulkin Brothers' bullet! What a stroke of luck that it hit his pouch. This is an amazing discovery. What this means is, there were 3 bullets fired at Winterbanks that night. We found exactly what that juror was talking about. The 3rd bullet. It's time to press that juror again, I think. Yeah, boy. Also, by the way, I'm curious. What's it? What is this liquid? These glass vials are full of Hurley's homemade potions. Homemade? Yes, like fingerprint powder to show up where people have touched things, and scent amplifying solution to intensify a smell lingering on an object. That's amazing. Oh, they're all very easy to use. There's just one thing you have to be careful of. They're all very flammable. Mr. Sholmes is a walking bomb. Either he's passionate about finding out the truth, or just oblivious to the dangers. Yep, that's definitely a bullet, alright. This is a bullet that was fired from the Skulkin Brothers' gun of the night of the incident. Yes, so it turns out it never actually entered Hurley's body at all. Thanks to the thick leather of that pouch he was wearing, it saved him. Hurley's always lucky like that. Well, considering what he had to go through in hospital, I wonder how lucky he really is. Oh dear, poor Hurley.
Hold it!
Yeah, let's go back to this one. Okay, yeah, we got this. It is a prove it. I mean, it's possible, and I can prove it. Allow me to show you, then, the 3rd bullet. Da-da-da-da! What do you say about that, lady? Here it is. We discovered it just now. Yes, on the night in question in Windermake's pawnbrokery, another bullet was fired. Oh, hey, he's dropping a hold it. What is this new trickery, you Nipponese conjurer? Where did you find that bullet? It was lodged inside Mr. Sholmes' pouch. What? This pouch was removed from around Mr. Sholmes' waist before he was taken to hospital, and since then, it has been touched by no one. Do you mean to say the shot fired by the Skulkin brothers that night? Yes, as your lordship has surmised, it hit this pouch. But that makes no sense whatsoever. We already know the whereabouts of the bullet fired from Mr. Sholmes. It's clearly visible in this photographic print. Ah! 2 guns from the scene have already been submitted into the court record as evidence. Yes, that was Mr. Winderbank, and that belonged to the Skulkin brothers. An examination of both guns revealed that only a single bullet had been fired from each. Ah! But that must mean... That's right. We now know that on the night in question, 3 bullets were fired. However, only 2 bullets were fired from the guns recovered from the crime scene, and that means that there must be a 3rd gun somewhere. And until that incontrovertible inconsistency is somehow explained, we cannot and must not pass judgment. Ah! Ah! Jeez, are you sure you didn't get shot? Order! 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 Now, while this summation examination remains incomplete, the court has been presented with new facts. Yeah, man, we totally destroyed Van Zeek's case with facts and logic. Facts that would appear to shake the very foundations upon which the case against the defendant has been built. As is my prerogative in this situation, I hereby temporarily suspend the summation examination. By Jupiter! What? Bailiff! Bailiff! Bring the witnesses back to the stand at once! Damn, man, we subverted the summation examination because there's still more shit to parse out, you know. Witnesses. Governor, will you listen to proceedings while the defense carried out the summation examination? We was, Governor, we was. Perhaps we can dispense with the tedious preamble. Simply answer this one question. A 3rd bullet has been identified at the scene of the crime. What do you make of that? Make of it, Gov? I don't make nothing of nothing if I can help it. Is it one of yours? Go blimey, Gov. Go blimey. Not a chance. In that case, did you have an accomplice? What? Hey, what? Never. The Skulkin brothers work alone. It's just the 2 of us. That's our trademark. How soon we forget poor Sulky. Yeah, you guys not mention the 3rd Skulky brother? Only 2 of the bullets from the crime scene originated from the firearms we have in evidence. The 3rd bullet was fired from another gun. Where is it? Lummy. That's an head-scratcher. Counsel for the defense. Yes. I should like to hear your thoughts regarding these new developments. The 3rd bullet, and the mysterious missing firearm from which it came. Thinking back over all the testimony we've heard, and all the evidence we've seen, I think I've started to form a picture. A picture of what really happened that night. My lord, I think it's clear what this 3rd bullet tells us about the Skulkin brothers. Let's see, it's nothing to do with them. I don't know about that one. They had another gun, or they had a secret accomplice. Well, you would think if they had another gun, that would have been discovered on them when the police found them, because it's not like they really have that much time to dispose of the evidence, right? But secret accomplice, I'm not sure if we can really prove that, you know? Well, you know, let's go with the least obvious answer, the one that probably is definitely wrong first. You know, just see if there's any interesting dialogue. I believe it has nothing to do with him. Eh? That's right. Yeah, nothing to do with us, Gov. You've established that one bullet was fired from each of the two guns already known to the court. The logical conclusion, therefore, is that on the night in question, at Mr. Winterbake's pawnbrokery, there was another person present in possession of a third firearm. Oh, wait, was that... Did I actually pick the right answer? Well, geez, I thought that was, like, the obviously wrong answer, because it seemed like they had something to do with it, but maybe not. Whilst the brothers may have had nothing to do with the third gun, or the bullet fired from it, it's inconceivable that they had nothing to do with the third man. Oh, so I guess he does have something to do with him. Yes! The brothers were working with an accomplice who was carrying a gun. Oh. Okay, so I guess it was one of those situations where no matter what you pick, it goes to the right answer. Oh well. An accomplice, you say? Pixwill. These protracted proceedings have already forced us to endure 2 summation examinations. Yet in all that time, there has not been a murmur of a third man. If this apparently wraith-like being exists, the court must be shown hard evidence. Without it, this fantasy will be crushed. The prosecution demands answers on 2 counts. Firstly, proof, evidence that this accomplice was ever at the scene of the crime. And secondly, the identity of this spurious character. The Skulkins are lying, I know that. But how can I ascertain the identity of the person they're hiding? Well, counsel, I'm supposed to prove the existence of this accomplice? And reveal the person's identity, even? Jesus, what do you think I am? Some kind of fucking miracle worker? Some kind of fucking ace attorney? Clearly they're expecting a little too much from me. In response to the prosecution's demand, my lord, the defense is, Okay, so what we have the blood, right? The blood that was on the disc, and the blood that was... Okay, let's do a bit of revisualization to use one of the sequel trilogy's terms. So if that bullet right there is not the bullet that hit Holmes, or Sholmes, I should say, sorry, I'm always going to get those two mixed up. And that means that blood isn't, in fact, Sholmes' blood, and in fact, it's a third party, right? But, Which would... Yeah, that would... Okay, again, sorry, I'm doing it from the fucking neurons in my brain are firing at like 1,000 miles a second. So, if that blood on the music box disc, which I originally thought belonged to Eggert, matches the blood that's here, and that blood, it was not in fact Sholmes' blood, then that means that this is Eggert's blood, in fact. So, well, that would confirm that he was here. Yeah, we do have evidence. Yeah, we can fuck this shit up, yo. You know, in a good way. The defense is ready. I believe I can provide all the answers the prosecution demands. Okay, I would feel confident about this, but I don't like the fucking shifty-eyed, nervous eyes that Ryunosuke has. That's usually a sign that we're on the wrong track, but I'm gonna run with it all the same.
So, my Nipponese friend, despite the swimming eyes, you seem to think you have something to say. This promises to be interesting.
Yeah, fucking slap your fucking face, you little bitch. I have to push forward now. There's no other option. I need to use every single piece of evidence available to me if it will make a difference. Yeah, in that case, Counsel, I would ask you to present the evidence without delay. On the right in question, in the moments leading up to the death of the victim, what proof have you that there was a third intruder present at the scene? Okay, so that's where I think we would present the blood samples. The evidence is right here, in this portfolio.
By Jove! That portfolio again, is it? Do you expect the court to rifle through your papers itself? Be more specific. You claim one of those blood samples proves the presence of this third intruder. Well, which one is it?
It would have to be this one, right? Because we don't know whose blood that belongs to, and also there's a bullet there, so yeah, it's gotta be that one, right? What am I looking at here? There appears to be some green paint or such like around the bullet hole in the middle of the calendar. That's a blood stain, my lord. It turns out the third perpetrator was in fact an alien from Mars, and you know those Martians, they have green blood, so...
A blood stain? Green blood. Curious, even for you. Is this court to understand that the intruder was some unhuman creature?
It's something developed by Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Oh, by the great detective?
New invention, stop! Not yet appeared in stories, stop! It's this, you see. It doesn't have a name yet, though. This fogger sprays a chemical that reacts with different elements in people's blood, to change its color.
Different elements of people's blood?
Yes. Everyone's blood is slightly different, you see, because it's made up of different elements. Wait, what? I guess... I mean... I'm pretty sure everyone's blood is the same. Well, generally it's the same thing. But I guess what she means, there's like different, like, compositions, right? Like, oh, you might have more iron in your blood, or you might have a lack of iron, or like potassium or some shit, right? So, by seeing what color it changes to, you can tell in a flash whose blood it is. Oh, that brings a whole extra dimension to looking at blood. Talk of blood in courtroom, stop! Very exciting, stop! As an example, this one shows the blood of the victim, Mr. Windibank.
Ah, a striking blue.
Yes, so you see, the green color of this bloodstain on the calendar shows that somebody else was shot in the main part of the shop.
And hold fire there, young man.
Could be from some unrelated incident, couldn't it? No, it's not unrelated. The date showing on the calendar is the date on which Mr. Windibank was killed.
By golly!
Therefore, we can assume that whoever was shot on the same day.
Yeah, then whose blood is it?
Well, the Skulkin brothers in the stand don't appear to be suffering from any gunshot injuries. Which means it must be the blood of somebody else. The third intruder, in fact.
Objection!
Whose identity the court is still waiting to hear. You can't delay this any longer, my learned friend. Who is this alleged third intruder?
Well, taking into account what we pieced together earlier about the blood on the disc and the blood in the shop, well, it can only belong to our good friend, Mr. Eggert Benedict.
Take that!
The man's name is Eggert Benedict.
Eggert Benedict?
Who on earth are you talking about, Counsel? he paid a visit to Windibank's pawnbrokery on the afternoon before the incident took place.
When the accuser attempted to deceive the pawnbroker into releasing this article into her possession.
That's right. The man identified by the defense, Mr. Eggert Benedict, then attempted to take the article from the defendant by force. Broca. Yeah, I don't even remember what voice I gave him. But yes, sir.
I believe this filthy pocket thief has just redeemed an article from you, no?
Well, sure, sir.
The article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once.
No, that's a lie. What are you trying to pull?
Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel, and needless to say, any music box discs too.
Man, music box disc. That always throws me for a loop. Inspector Gregson was there at the time, and can attest to what happened. In the end, it was the inspector himself who took the disc. Can you corroborate this account, Inspector?
Yes, my lord. It's more or less what happened. And in the interest of being thorough, I asked Windibank for a print showing the fella.
Taken from one of his red-handed recording gubbinses. Yes, that's him talking to Mr. Windibank that morning. Yeah, I do remember that.
And you declare that this man is the brother's accomplice?
Well, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin? Never seen the geezer before in me life.
On me life, Gov. On me life. Never seen him. Never seen him.
Well, somewhat unsurprisingly, it appears our witnesses disagree with the assertion.
I'm sure your lordship recalls my learned Nipponese friend's actual assertion, which was that he could prove the identity of the alleged accomplice.
Yes, and I can. Then show us the evidence. I agree. We must see proof that the clean-cut gentleman in this photograph is a filthy criminal you say he is. This is the last piece of evidence. I've had a feeling that something has been missing in this trial from the very start, but now I'm going to drag it kicking and screaming into the courtroom. Are you ready to present your answer to the court, then, counsel? Yes, my lord. The defense will present the evidence now. Proof that the man pictured in the photographic print was, in fact, the person struck by the third bullet. It's gotta be the disc, right? I mean, it did turn green. And the blood that was green on the... Yeah, you know. The blood color is the same, so, you know. As I mentioned before, on the afternoon of the day in question, the defendant attempted, deceitfully admittedly, to reclaim this disc from Windibank's. Which is when the aforementioned Eggert Benedict appeared on the scene, I believe. This man then attempted to purloin the article from the defendant's possession, no? That's correct, my lord. I myself was present at the time. It was following this that a minor incident occurred. Yeah, I do remember. But of course, sir, here's the disc for you. Very well. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style. Wait a minute! That disc is mine! What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drunk blood, you filthy animal! Being a music box disc, it has countless small but sharp metal protrusions over its surface. Those protrusions caused Mr. Benedict's finger to bleed. And the resulting smear of blood is still visible on the disc now. Oh, goodness! A bloodstain, is it? My assistant and I have just analyzed the bloodstain here in this very courtroom. Using my trusty Fogger gun. Yes, and we added the results to this portfolio. I say, it's green. It's exactly the same color as the blood around the calendar. The evidence is conclusive. The man calling himself Mr. Egget Benedict, who was in Mr. Windermake's early in the day, is the accomplice who was present at the scene of the crime that same night. Oh shit. Man, the music got pretty intense there. So there was someone else there. Look at the two brothers now. They're sweating buckets. Oi, who are you talking about? It's boiling in here. My lord, it is the opinion of the defense that Mr. Egget Benedict should be summoned to the courtroom to testify. Testify. Do. It will certainly seem that we can ill afford to ignore this gentleman's apparent presence.
Objection!
This has gone on long enough now. This flagrant ignorance of the mechanics of law. Sherlock Sholmes, you say? Yes, I've heard the name. The protagonist in a series of short stories for the vulgar classes. A god of detection or some such. And now you employ chemical substances devised by this fantastical persona in the highest court of the land. Hey, you said persona. It's like those Atlas games. Do you expect us to take you seriously? The samples made by this plaything are not fit to be called evidence. So the bloodstain turned a shade of green? What of it? Here's you successfully proving that no other blood in the world would turn the same color.
Oh. Well, I mean, I guess. Well. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, he's breaking out the leggy objection.
And pray, do not even think of suggesting that we should take Mr. Sholmes' word for it.
Ugh. Is he right? Is Mr. Sholmes' concoction a load of rubbish? I don't know. I mean, he is a great detective. Ugh. I knew it would come to this. Of course Mr. Sholmes' invention is going to be recognized by any official body. But what other choice did I have? I'm just remembering what Father Christmas over there said before. About how he was temporarily suspending the summation examination. In other words, the examination isn't over yet, is it? Good grief. What did you just say, young girl? And in a summation examination, the decision as to whether or not the trial continues is in the hands of the 6 jurors, isn't it? So the way I see it, it doesn't matter what certain other people think of Hurley's invention. At least, not for now. Yes, she's right. Young lady, you're quite the devious mind. It really just comes down to one thing. Whether these ladies and gentlemen of the jury are convinced by what you say, Runo. Is that about right, what you say? Or did I misunderstand something? Unbelievable. Mr. Sholmes' partner is a force to be reckoned with. Yeah, true that. Iris Wilson, sharpshooter. Yeah, man, she don't fucking miss. After that shrewd places of the situation from an entirely unexpected source, it must be acknowledged that the previous summation examination has yet to reach its conclusion. This is absurd! Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court now looks to you for your final leadings in this matter. As proud citizens of Her Majesty's Britain, I am sure you will come to fair and just conclusions. I don't know if we can trust these fucking weirdos to conclude anything, but oh well. So then, say your final decisions in turn, please.
Not guilty.
Not guilty. Not guilty.
Guilty.
Wait, what?
Guilty!
Not guilty.
Oh, hey, well. Hey, it's a majority on our side, so, that's good enough. As far as I can see it. 2 called guilty, and 4 called not guilty. Such is the outcome of the summation examination.
Objection!
My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage. The prosecution refuses to accept this decision.
On what grounds?
If these jurors are persuaded by some half-baked concoction devised by a pretender to real police work, then they are too ignorant to be trusted with the judgment of anyone's guilt.
I mean, I'm sorry, but that isn't how it works. I mean, you can't just be like, Your Honor, these fuckers are stupid. You can't trust the word they say. Like, that isn't gonna hold up in a court of law, my friend.
I'm sorry, Lord Van Zykes. I'm sorry, Lord Van Zykes, but the outcome of the summation examination cannot be ignored. This trial will continue. Ah! Ah!
Nevertheless, we find ourselves in a rather awkward situation.
The defense has very reasonably requested the subpoena of a new witness. But sadly, I fear that will be impossible.
What?
The name the gentleman gave for himself, Eggert Benedict, is quite clearly false.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah, I mean, you got people with names like fucking Villain Bolshevik, but no, apparently Eggert Benedict is fake.
I don't believe it. Just when I'd managed to prove the man was there that night.
Could I say something? Who was that, please? Who spoke?
It was me, my lord.
Okay, well, I hate to do this, but I don't got much time left, and I don't think we're gonna get to a good, easy point to stop. So, again, this is gonna be another long episode. I wasn't really planning for it to go this long, but you know, the hits stop coming and they don't stop coming, you know. But hey, I guess we'll figure out what juror number 5 has to say in the next episode. Boy, some spicy deductions and spicy conclusions coming to mind. Though again, I don't see how Eggert Benedict is like an obviously false name when you have so many other names that aren't false. That like, I mean, there's a fucking in the Ace Attorney games. There's a guy named Romain Latouche, and you're gonna tell me Eggert Benedict is really that far fetched? I don't know, man. But anyway, until the next time, I will see you then.